This is it, folks. This is the race that's going to decide the champion for the Juicy Food Xfinity Series here. We have a bunch of chasers here. The championship 4 is down the line here. Homestead, Scott Roush did get the pole here. But we're looking at chasers. Charles Sandfer, he's starting within that top 5. There's Josh Ciculli running near the back half of the field. Christian Master and Rancho Cucamonga starting near the rear. So we got to keep an eye out on those 4 contenders here. Pace car is off here for the final time this season here in the Xfinity Series. But Scott Roush will be leading that field to the green flag here at Homestead. We are racing under the lights here in Florida. Into turn number 3, Scott Roush is in the lead so far, but Lily Gordon's got to run underneath that number 60 there on lap number 1. That team got eliminated in the last round in terms of the elimination process, and now she's going to try and take that lead on lap 1 of the race. She does so, and Spencer Gilmore's going to make his way to the inside of that 52 there for JD Motorsports, as the field already getting themselves 3 wide, 4 wide, several rows deep. This track is no stranger to wide action like that, so that's going to be entirely expected. Eric Rodriguez now looking to the inside of that 01 for that race lead here. Lead changes are going to be dramatic here at Homestead. They're going to be everywhere on this racetrack here. Eric Rodriguez is certainly going to try and take that lead back, but Scott Roush not giving up without a fight. He's got back on the inside there in that number 60. That Roush has had a really good season despite being eliminated the first round of the playoffs, but even so, it's still an impressive stint knowing the lack of races he's run compared to the other drivers here. But Scott Roush still running well right now in that second spot. Marty Johnson in third, one of the best non-chasers that didn't make the initial playoffs there. So that 54 car doing a great job there. Drew Austin, winner at Phoenix, doing a good job there as well. Jonathan Zolan making his way up. Josh Ciculli currently leading that field over Charles Sandfer. And Charles Sandfer, I believe, has a 5-point gap as a cushion in case, but knowing that, we'll have to see what points will get into play here. I don't know if it's really crucial compared to all the other championships, so let me look back at that. No, it won't actually. It's the best highest finisher, actually, in this field in terms of the chasers that will be winning this championship, so bonus points do not matter anymore. 4 wide off of turn number 2 there. Ciculli getting shot in the middle of a situation there. Chris Dodd has his nose underneath that 4 car there. And really the JD team has done a great job there. Charles Sandfer right there in the mix. You see that TriStar entry coming into play in that 8. Charles Sandfer's had a fantastic season here, and he's in the chase for Doublemint as well. So once this season ends, they're going to go focus on Doublemint commitments here. So that's going to be really fun to see what Charles Sandfer has in store, or the rest of the field here in terms of the latter half of Doublemint. So Scott Roush now leading the field here. Drew Austin sitting up in third there. And our highest running chaser right now is Joshua Ciculli there. Charles Sandfer not too far behind. Update on Rancho Cucamonga. He's making his way up through the pack here. He started near the back half of the field here, and he's now running inside the top 25 right now. So he's on the charge here. But Christian Master has been falling backwards in this race in that 26 car, so don't know what the JGL team is doing with that the adjustments of that Fanatics car. So they're going to have to find something for that 26 car, maybe to see if they can get better off in the latter half of this stint here, because right now he is the last chaser running in this race right now in terms of where they're running. Charles Sandfer has now taken the lead in this championship. And now he's looking underneath Cody Lamas for the 3rd spot there. Drew Austin has just taken the lead off of turn number 2 there. That's another lead change here at Homestead. Sandfer having his nose underneath the 60 and the 28 simultaneously there. Good run off of turn 4 for Sandfer there. He's going to have the advantage into turn number 1, but it looks like Roush is going to cut him off just a bit there into the first corners. The 60 still trying to keep that top 5 run going here, and pretty much the field's pretty much done a great job of keeping their cars clean so far. Looking near the back half of the field here, Dylan Schwalmberg near the back half. There is Keith Batson in the 6 car. Zorlin, there's Warren Keith in the 7. A lot of drivers are all the big teams running to the back half of the field here. They might be taking it easy right now, see, in terms of tire wear. But now Cody Lamas is looking to the bottom of the racetrack here. He's had a very rocky season he wants to forget. He's also in the chase for the Dolomite Cup Series, so I think Lamas is just going to use this as more experience to his car. Eric Rodriguez making it 3 wide on the bottom. Certainly trying to do something there for that lead. He's done a great job in that 22 car this season. And you see the field still getting themselves scattered off of turn number 4 there. It looks like the 16 in the wall off of turn number 4. Andy Thomas has found the turn 4 barrier there in that Roush Fenway organization car. So certainly that's not a good sign for that 16 car. Looks like it might be a tight race car. Off the corners, especially on the exit. 3 wide again. Rodriguez still leads. Marty Johnson threading the needle there with Alex May and Spencer Gilmore coming into the mix there as well. Coming off of turn number 4, it's still getting quite dicey near the back half of the field here. Looks like Randy Vanderpoppen also found the turn 4 wall there in the winner at Dover. Certainly couldn't find something good on the table here today. Alex May looking for second. He's going to do so successfully there. Gilmore right on his inside there, not too far behind. Loosening that 43 up for turn number 4 there. Sandfer nearly in the wall for turn 4. He loosened the car up just a bit there. And he's going to be a sitting duck here because look who's coming into the picture yet again. Rancho Cucamonga is now ahead of that 8 car. And he is going to be leading this championship now. So it's a 3-car battle for this championship right now, with Christian Masters still struggling to find some speed in the back in that 26 car. He is stuck in limbo right now, so certainly he's not very happy with the car. And I don't think that's kind of a good, justifiable opinion, because this is the race that is so important to them that they need to win this championship by just finishing ahead of the others. Here we go, battle for the lead here. Alex May going underneath Eric Rodriguez for that first position here. Car number 43 looking to find some victories here for Richard Petty Motorsports here. And that team was going to shut down, but it looks like they kept going in terms of operations. Cucamonga now looking underneath Jeffrey Fingai for position there. And it looks like he's got a good run into turn number 1 here. He's got some help from Drew Austin. He slides at the racetrack though, and the 28's going to take advantage there. And Cucamonga holds on to his position there. Sandfer has a good run in the center of the corner there. Great run off of turn number 4. He got around Bright Fingai and several others there. And now he's going to be on the charge to try and chase down Cucamonga there. He's got to get around Stephen Paul III there. Andrew Austin. But Cucamonga step up top here. And the field's still doing a great job here. But it looks like we see some cars kind of fanning out in terms of the main pack and those within each other. It's a pretty even field, to be honest there. Thomas still running to the back. Christian Master not having the run they wanted. Emmanuel Harnett and Kelly Boston aren't running too well either. So certainly not the runs they wanted. Robbie Jackson running to the back there. Seymour Butts. There's Corey Williams, Randy Vanderpoppen, etc. there. But Marty Johnson, good run off of turn 2. He's going to look to the bottom of the racetrack there in that Toyota. And Marty Johnson's going to try and take the lead away from the 43. Clean pass on the inside there. This is somewhat of a multi-groove racetrack. If you're good at defending, that outside groove could kick into play here. Or those drivers up top. The middle groove is definitely one of the better lines on the track here. You see a lot of them kind of experimenting with that middle groove there. Lamas to the bottom. You can get a good center in the bottom of the racetrack there. And Lamas certainly is showcasing that right now. And when you're 3 wide, usually the inside line is not the best line. But in this track, it certainly is going to be one of the best nonetheless because of how wide this track is. So high banking, a lot of racetrack to really use. So, and a lot of rubber on the track. Drew Austin looking like he wants to swap the lead with the 54 there. Toyotas are going at it again. Cody Lamas still in that 3rd spot, looking to try and get his win in this series here. And Drew Austin went up the hill there. Here comes Cody Lamas at the bottom of the racetrack there. He's going to go for the race lead. Ooh, Matt McIntyre nearly got turned off of turn 4 there. That was a close call from the 97 there. James Qualms was really impatient with him. And Charles Sandfer is now putting himself into the mix here. In terms of this fight here, he's now up to the 4th spot here. And Sandfer's going to make it 3 wide into the corner there. Drew Austin gets shoved way up the racetrack there. That is certainly not good. For that 28, he hits the wall for turn 4. Cars scattering around. Stephen Paul III got in the back of him for a moment there. And that was a close call there. Cucamonga had to back off the throttle there. And that's really going to cost him a lot of ground on the racetrack there. And Cucamonga loses so much track position just because of checking up into turn 1. That would have been disastrous for the 3 car if he had wrecked. But man, that was a close call. They're out in turn 4. Lum's now getting shoved up the hill, and they're 4 wide now. And looks like Lily Gordon wants to press the issue there with Scott Roush and Matt McIntyre. Oh man, they rubbed doors right there. Roush almost lost the car. In turn 1, they held onto it. Charles Sandfer, now your race leader over Alex May. So Charles Sandfer certainly trying to be the victor here in terms of this championship. He certainly deserves to be, because he's been one of the more consistent drivers on this schedule here. And he's been a driver to look out on the radar in terms of the silly season potentially. But Charles Sandfer certainly showcasing his strengths of consistency here at Homestead, and he's currently leading that race there. Cucamonga, after checking up in turn 1, he is way down the order in 17th. And this is certainly not the run they wanted to see here. He's got to get back up to the pack yet again. That's his mission, and that's what he's got to do if he wants to get back into this hunt. Joshua Ciculli still running near the middle of the pack here. They haven't really done much this whole race here. They're 21st in this race right now. And Christian Master has done absolutely nothing. Not to be rude, but that car has been nowhere in this race. James Qualls now has a run underneath the 8 car. Sandfer gives plenty of room. Qualls now to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's going to be looking for that race lead off of turn number 4. Side by side across the line, and it's going to be car number 70 that's going to lead that lap. And Matt McIntyre not too far behind in that 97. Rodriguez giving him some assistance there. And it's still anybody's race to win here. Jeffrey Fingai making his way back upwards through the pack again. Rancho Cucamonga has been climbing his way up. He's now in 14th in the race right now. Looking underneath Cole Baker there and going lower on the racetrack there. You see him trying to get that inside run off of turn 4 there. Trying to get underneath Kyle Keith in the 42. Really couldn't really do much to any avail there, but right now it's James Qualls still leading. Rodriguez has the run off of turn 2, but wow, look at this pack of cars. It's still anybody's, like I said, it's still anybody's race here. And Annie Thomas looks like she has found the turn 4 wall, and looks like her race has gone from bad to worse. Rodriguez way up high in the racetrack there, using an outside groove there. Marty Johnson on the inside with Scott Roush following on toe. Cody Lamas giving him a shove into the corner there, shove him into the backstretch and into the corner. There we go. And Sandfer gets shoved up the track there, but he still has a good amount of momentum off of turn number 4 to hold on to that position there. And there's Cucamonga now making it 3 wide underneath Fingai and Baker, but Fingai gets the run off the corner there, and he's going to go to the inside groove there. And he's going way lower in the racetrack there, looking underneath that 19 car, and couldn't get so. A lot of drivers are going to be abusing their tires, as it seems. It looks like we're seeing those that are getting better in this longer stint, some doing worse in this longer stint. Some might be better off in the short run here. Charles Sandfer still running comfortably in that 4th spot, though. Cucamonga is still his primary threat right now, because Ciculli and the others aren't doing as well as anticipated. Ciculli's still trying to make his way up through the pack here, so we'll have to wait and see when pit stops come into play here, as Eric Rodriguez looks underneath the 8 car yet again. It's been some good battles all around the racetrack here, and a big waddle of cars to be exact, near each other to be exact, so mistakes are pretty much very little here, surprisingly, from these drivers here. You think they get a lot more aggressive and more cautions come out, but they're really keeping their P's and Q's in check here in this race. Now Marty Johnson has a good run underneath the 70 there. He's going to try and challenge, and it looks like they're coming down pit lane. A lot of them committing late. Rodriguez made some contact there. They had to save it. And now we have our green flag pit stops coming into play here. Two of our chasers are coming down pit lane, Charles Sandfer and Christian Masters. So it looks like that 26 car, they might be trying to do something, maybe find some adjustments here, but right now it's Matt McIntyre leading this race here, and we're going to see what everybody else is going to do into turn number 3. I think there are going to be a lot more takers coming in this time around. Kyle Keith is going to be staying out on the racetrack there, and looks like everybody else is coming in besides a few scrabblers, and Drew Austin's out of control near the back. No caution there, but he's got some damage to the back end of his race car. But Cucamonga coming in there. We're going to look at the race off of pit road in terms of the first stint. Sandfer has a good stop there. Looks like Christian Masters managed to get some good track position there in pit stops as well. Eric Rodriguez, one of the few losers on the track. Dylan Schwalberg with a fantastic pit stop. And here comes the rest of the leaders coming in. Kyle Keith, one of the first takers, he started last in the race, and now he's made his way upwards through the pack, so good job for him. But looks like Charles Sandfer is going to be the one leading them out of pit lane as of now, but watch the field coming out of turn number 4. Let's see where they're going to leapfrog them. The undercut could be a good thing for those drivers that pitted first, but it's going to be a really close battle off. Matt McIntyre looks like they're actually going to beat those cars out of pit lane quite easily there. And Matt McIntyre is going to cycle to the race lead here. But we're going to see where this 42 comes out as well. We actually need to pay attention to that stint because they could have beaten them out of pit lane as well. But it looks like Rancho Cucamonga actually freight trained. That's Charles Sandfer there. Good overtake. Good undercut in that 8. From that 3 car to be exact, and Charles Sandfer is not going to give up that fight. Cars in the wall there. Dylan Schwalberg and Stephen Paul III have collided in turn 1, and no caution out on the track, but it's going to be a huge stack up out of turn 2. More cars coming out of pit lane here. And Cucamonga now holding advantage to this spot here. It's a 4-car battle for the win right now. Kyle Keith managed to get a lot of track position in tow, but he's not looking too good in terms of that race trim right now. It looks like he had to get that car up to speed, actually. So that might be why. So looking back at the other chasers there, actually all 4 of them are still now tucked in a blanket this time around because of pit stops. So this could be a good opportunity for Ciculli and the others to make their way upwards to get towards those 2 chasers that are running for this championship right now. But Marty Johnson leads, Robert Pollard in that 2nd spot, McIntyre 3rd, trying to win another race this season, and James Qualls running in the top 4, with Alex May running in the top 5. In that 43 car, good run for that 43 there. Certainly a driver that's under the radar this season. Warren Keith running in that 6th spot there, the winner at I believe he won at Kansas, correct me if I'm wrong. Charles Sandfer, highest running chaser right now, fighting Cole Baker and Rancho Cucamonga, his championship rival. Right there, so it's not over yet, but we still have plenty of laps to go. But there's Josh Ciculli and Christian Master. They have made their way upwards near each other, so if they can catch them, this is going to be a 4-car battle for this championship. McIntyre to the inside, takes the lead quite easily away from that 19 car there, and the Obaika team has been pretty quiet all season. They didn't really have a good first round to really showcase what they could have had, and Matt McIntyre got eliminated pretty quickly there, so it was quite a shock to see that 97 car get knocked out so early. It looks like they're still 3 wide there. Cucamonga now pressing the issue on Cole Baker and Warren Keith there. In that 18 and 7 there, the 3 going to the inside there. Cucamonga's had a very up and down season, but certainly one of the few drivers that they needed to look out for. He was one of the big drivers that were contenders, as well as Sandfer. Those 2 were pretty much drivers you had to really look out for. Eric Rodriguez was another powerhouse that got eliminated, though, in the round of 8. So Eric Rodriguez certainly was one of the drivers that could have been in for this championship if not for a bad round. But even so, you would still think it would be a great season for a lot of those drivers that were in this championship hunt earlier in the season. So Cucamonga still leads this championship, currently running inside the top 10. Charles Sandfer not too far behind him, so he's going to be the challenger right now. going to be the one in that catbird seat. But looks like Scott Roush wants to make a move on the inside of that 8 car. There's Joshua Ciculli, though. He has reeled in those cars right in front of him, so don't count him out just yet. Christian Master is still trying to do the exact same thing. And he doesn't really have one of the faster cars on the track, but certainly could do something on the table here. We've already reached the halfway point of this race. Annie Thomas blowing up on track. And her race is going to come to an end of a rocky season for that team and for that car itself. So, really tough break for Annie Thomas there. Certainly the run she did not want to see. And Ciculli getting shuffled out of line here. That's not good for him. Christian Master's going to look on the inside, trying to take that 3rd spot in terms of the championship away. Charles Sandfer now taking the lead away from Rancho Cucamonga in this championship fight. But looking back at the battle for the lead, a bunch of non-chasers are actually still in there to spoil the party here. Marty Johnson with that lead here off of turn number 2. Certainly one of the better drivers that didn't make the playoffs initially, like I mentioned. So it's kind of a disappointment for him, but I think a win would be good icing on the cake for that 54 team. And Robert Pollard looking for that lead underneath his fellow Toyota of Marty Johnson there. 2 Chevys versus 2 Toyotas within that top 4. It's really a four-car race. Everybody else is still gaggling for track position here, but look at this. Looks like Christian Master has put himself into the party here, while Joshua Ciculli is the outlier in this championship hunt right now. Cucamonga now still leading, but look at this pack of cars still together in this race right now. Cucamonga now running inside the top 10, looking underneath Cole Baker for position there. He slides to the bottom of the racetrack there, as the cars are still 3 wide, multiple rows deep, 4 rows deep here. They're still 3 wide. And Nathan Hudson in the 13 trying to make it through the middle there. Randy Vanderpool on the bottom, Christian Master on the bottom here. And Joshua Ciculli has now put himself into play here, so everybody's within a tight gaggle in terms of this championship 4 here. It's gotten much more intense this season. And Christian Master looks like they've made some good adjustments to this 26 car. They could be dark horses for this championship here. As they come towards lap traffic, this could be a deciding factor in who could win this championship here. Stephen Plum III, he's stuck in the middle lane there. He stays to the bottom. He goes up to the top here, and Alex May's going to navigate his way around him here. But it's a matter of who gets held up. Will a chaser get held up by that 89 car? Joshua Ciculli on that bottom lane there, he's stuck. Scott Roush is stuck up out in the outside groove there, so that's not good for him. And it looks like Charles Sandfer might be in the worst, batted in the stick there, as he's going to lose a lot of time on Cucamonga. And all the other chasers are still near each other though. But we haven't had a caution in this race, surprisingly though, so it's been a really clean race so far. But looking back to the lead here, James Quall is now looking underneath that number 97 there. McIntyre puts the block on the 70 there, and they're going to dive it into turn 3 quite well. But Jeffrey Fingai now trying to take a top 5 spot away from the 43 there, and Alex May's the one shoved up to the outside of the track there. But man, it's still some good battling within that main pack. But now it looks like it might be down to 2 cars in terms of this battle for this lead here, or this race win. Because Robert Pollard and Marty Johnson are now getting held up by lap traffic. Spencer Gilmore now leading the inside train of 3 wide action to the inside in turn 3 there, with Warren Keith following. They're still 3 wide. Man, I can't get over that, because they still haven't done anything ridiculously bad yet. Chris Dodd now on the inside there, Nathan Hudson. But right now, it's still a massive gaggle. It's anybody's championship to lose here. Cucamonga now in the middle. Ciculli's one of the first cars in that bottom lane there. You see that 4 car coming into play here. This could be costly for Rancho Cucamonga. The laps are winding down. And Jesse Dalton nearly hit the wall for turn 4 there. But Joshua Ciculli has put himself into the mix here. And now he's going to look low. Cucamonga looks up high. There shoves Vingai up the hill. He's got the middle groove off of turn 2. Cars still bouncing off each other. Cole Baker blocking the 3 car. And Ciculli still stuck in that inside groove. He hasn't really made much progress there. Charles Sandfer trying to get around Christian Master. As they're coming down with 4 laps to go here. This championship battle is still fighting strong here. And this is anybody's battle for this championship. And this could be an interesting fight to the finish here. You can hear the pianos. That is the amount of melodies we can hear. But Cucamonga on that inside, they're shoving Warren Keith up the track. They're loosening that car up. This could be the championship deciding move here for Rancho Cucamonga. 3 laps to go here at Homestead. But the Chevys are still up front here. James Qualls, Matt McIntyre in that 97 there. Those two are still going at it. But James Qualls looks like his car might be fading. Drew Austin giving a fight to that 70 car there. But looking at the rest of the pack of cars. And the 4 car has gotten around the 3 car for this championship lead. So Joshua Ciculli is in the driver's seat for this championship here. Christian Master not too far behind. We thought he'd be knocked down this championship in the early stint of this race. But here they come. Coming into turns number 3 and 4, the leaders are going to be reaching that white flag sooner or later. Matt McIntyre rounding out turn number 4. It is going to be the white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Homestead. McIntyre has plenty of gap over James Qualls here off of turn number 4, but the battle for the championship is still on the line. Ciculli and Christian Master are going at it. Cucamonga, his chances are over, as well as Charles Sandfer. Here they come, rounding out turn number 4. Matt McIntyre wins the race, but the battle for the championship is on. They're going to be racing it side by side, but Ciculli holds him off. He's going to win the championship here. And Joshua Ciculli is a Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series champion at last in this first inaugural season of the series. And car number 4 is in victory lane here. Well, not really victory lane, but victory lane for this championship in terms of that. But what a job for car number 4, Matt McIntyre, a winner yet again in the series. But man, heartbreak for Cucamonga and Charles Sandfer. Those were drivers that were very much powerhouses in this championship. And this one race got to them at the end, and Joshua Ciculli ends up winning this championship by finishing 10th. And what a job for that 4 team. We didn't expect JD to do as well as anticipated, but we saw TriStar make it to the chase as well, so what a job done. What a championship to end this race here. It was really intense in terms of the final 4 drivers. They were all within each other near the end of that stint. Pit stops came into play, and it looks like the adjustments were made right for Joshua Ciculli at the end of this one. No cautions in the race here. What a race to watch at the end. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So the Doublemint Cup chase will be coming up sooner or later. I don't know when, but I'm working on chase cards at the moment. I've made a new logo actually, so I guess that's reassuring, but what a race to end this season here. Not the best series compared to like Cup, obviously, because people look forward to that, but what a job done for Matt McIntyre. Congratulations on him winning a race yet again, but congratulations to Joshua Ciculli on winning this championship.
1, 2, 3, 4.